What's up guys, SeanEDawgz here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you what is the best reticle in the game for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Now before I begin, before you guys roast me in the comments that the video is 10 minutes and 1 second, that is just the transitions. The video was actually a lot longer, but I made the transitions very short so that it would take less time. Now what I did to test this out was I played one full game with a certain reticle, and I did this for a bunch of games, but there are 49 reticles, and that is just for the ELO site. Each of the different sites also have their own reticles, so it would have taken me forever if I did this for every single reticle. So ones that looked similar, I didn't pick like more than one out of that bunch, and I picked a bunch of different shapes and sizes to make it consistent. Not only that, but I made sure I was using the same gun with the same attachments. I was using absolutely the exact same class on every single game, and I did this to keep everything consistent. So literally the only thing changing was the actual reticle that I was using. I'm sure you may have noticed that in the past few Call of Duties, even though there have been like hundreds and hundreds of reticles, most people still stick to just the old red dot, something very small on the screen, and there is a reason for that. Now that I've tested all of these, I can tell you there are two main things to consider when you are trying to choose a reticle. You're looking for visibility and precision. In terms of visibility, what I mean is how much of your actual screen does it cover. A main reason that people don't choose all these weird bulky ones is because it quite literally blocks your screen. It doesn't help you if the reticle is going to block off part of the enemy or whatever you're trying to aim at. It's just common sense. You want your reticle to assist you in gunfights, not prevent you from seeing the gunfight you're entering into. Now, in terms of precision, what I mean by that is some of these actually come to a point. There is a very tiny dot in the center. Those are the ones that you want to use. There are some where there's just like a hollowed out shape, but there is no exact center. You can't see where that center point is, where all of your bullets will end up. So you want to stay away from those and only choose the ones that have an exact point in the middle, because those are going to be your best tools. Those are going to help you win gunfights because you'll know exactly where your bullets are going at all times. Now, one thing that is new to Infinite Warfare is some of these reticles actually move. That one that you saw in the intro, that one is called Saw. That was the most distracting reticle I've ever used in my entire life. I just could not focus. That thing spins like 100 miles per hour while you're trying to aim. You're in the middle of a gunfight trying to focus, and it's just throwing you off. Do not use any of the moving ones. There are some of the mission team ones. I know the blood anvil one, it makes some blood splatter on your screen. While although it is entertaining, it can distract you in the middle of gunfights and can block off portions of your screen that are vital to winning gunfights. So even if you're used to it, you've been using one of these reticles that I just told you is not ideal to use, the type, like it's bulky or doesn't have an exact center point, you should probably change it. Even though you're used to it, if you get used to one of the more minimalistic ones, you're probably going to be better off. I'm sure there's some videos out there where some people will tell you the exact reticle, what is the best one, but it does not exist. As long as you pick a minimalistic one that has an exact center point, it doesn't really matter. Some people like to use ones that have like lines around that center point because it helps them get centered. I personally just like the old-fashioned dot because I don't feel that that's necessary. Once you aim in, I already know where the center of my screen is. I just need that dot to know exactly where my bullets are heading. So this is 100% a preference thing. I'm sure if you took a batch of people and like ran some tests, you had them all use different reticles and see which ones they did the best with, it would be different for different people. If you kind of like the ones with the random shapes around the outside, but it does have a center point, go ahead and use those. Some people will think you're stupid, others will think you're a genius. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you are the one that is going to use it in every single gunfight. So pick the one that you feel is best. Whatever one you're comfortable with, whichever one helps you win the most gunfights, that is the best one for you. May not be the best for someone else. Another major thing to point out is that there is not going to be a reticle in this game that will give you an advantage over another. I know a lot of people that watch Korean, they see him use that green one. It sort of has like the lines in the shape of a triangle. They've seen him use another one. I see a lot of people using those. I guess they're trying to copy him, copy his play style. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I know some people are under the mindset that if you see a good player play and you copy everything that he does, you will suddenly become a good player. That's not how it works. The reason that these players get so good is they put the time in, they find exactly what they are most comfortable with, and then they start using that. If you don't use what you're most comfortable with and you just start copying what other people do, it won't help you get better at the game. There are a lot of elements to this game where if you just try and copy someone, you will fail miserably. If you're a bad player and you just copy the loadout of a good player, you're just going to be a bad player with a good loadout. You got to learn to think for yourself on most things, and the only way to do that is to put the time in, bite the bullet. The only way you're going to get better at something is through repetition. I said it in my last best tips and tricks video, the one where I show all of the nukes. The only real thing that you should be copying is maybe a player that has thousands of hours of game time over you. You should try and see their tendencies, what they do in certain gunfights, how they escape certain situations. But besides that, the rest is up to you. If you really are serious about becoming a better player, you're gonna have to develop a lot of these things on your own. Now, when I make videos, I do try and touch on aspects that you can copy, but there are some intrinsic things that you just will not be able to do. You either have it or you don't. So if you are a little unsure on something like a class setup or these reticles, for example, just go out and try a bunch for yourself. You're gonna see that a lot of them maybe aren't going to work for you and a lot of them are. The different combinations, trying them all out is what it's about. Find what best suits you. I can almost guarantee, let's say if we took all of the pro players at the last CWL tournament and we looked at all of their class setups, I can bet that all of their setups are completely different from one another. Maybe like one or two classes from a few players will be the same, but for the most part, a lot of the things that they pick and choose are just preference. The sooner you learn that and you start thinking for yourself, that is when you will become a better player. So I really do hope that this video helped you. I know I said best reticle and there isn't one, but that is how a lot of things are in Call of Duty. There's no such thing as best. There are going to be things that are better than others, but no one can say for sure what is the best. So anyways, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to drop a like, comment down below with any thoughts or questions you may have. I'm really curious to see your different opinions on these issues. Don't always take what I say as the absolute truth. I could of course be wrong on these things. I'm just sharing my opinion. So I want to hear what you guys have to say on the matter. Maybe you think that Saw site is the best site in the game. You want to voice your opinion. You go for it, dude. You do you. I will never use that Saw site again. My job is to start the conversation, get those brain juices flowing, and it is your guys' job to make sense of it all. That is all the wisdom I have to impart on you today. Lastly, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for some more great videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.